The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes detailed many gruesome aspects of President Coriolanus Snow's origin story but left out the most important part. Based on the book of the same name by Hunger Games author Suzanne Collins, the prequel movie explored Snow's teenage years, providing context for how he became the terrible dictator seen in Katniss' story. However, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes never explained how the man developed the habit that would ultimately lead to his death. The end of Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes demonstrated how, even as a young man, Snow was dangerous. Growing up in the capital during Panem's civil war left a lasting impact on his psyche, and though he tried for a time to make moral choices, his first murders solidified the future dictator's brutal ways. The Hunger Games series revealed that Snow eventually preferred poison as a weapon of choice, which is established in the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. However, the prequel movie missed how this impacted the man himself. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes didn't show the origin of Snow's mouth bleeding. Hunger Games Snowblood. Throughout the Hunger Games movies, Snow frequently dabbed blood from his mouth. At one point, while drinking champagne, an alarming amount of blood washed back into the glass. Though the films didn't directly address this, it was revealed in the Catching Fire book that the bleeding mouth sores that plagued Snow were the result of his tendency to use poison to murder his enemies. To avoid suspicion, the dictator would drink from the poisoned substance himself, depending on antidotes to protect him. However, over the years, this took a toll. Though the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes sees Snow discover the usefulness of poison, there is never a moment in which he ingests it himself. Therefore, the beginning of the man's mouth sores is never addressed. Since the Hunger Games hints that Snow's habit of taking the poison himself to fool his enemies was slowly leading him toward his death, a bit of poetic irony, it seems that he would have been a full-circle feature of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. However, the prequel left it out. Songbirds and Snakes ending shows how Snow's mouth bleeding could have been avoided. Casca High Bottom Hunger Games Ballad Songbirds Snakes. Though it's likely that Snow's mouth sores didn't develop until years after the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, it would have been interesting to see the first time he realized he would have to take the poison himself to fool his enemy. It would have meant a poetic end for the prequel movie since audiences would know that this would be Snow's inevitable cause of death. Still, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes at least delivered on the first time that Snow used poison to kill a capital enemy, and it demonstrated how taking poison himself shouldn't have been necessary. At the end of the Hunger Games prequel, Coriolanus Snow puts rat poison in a bottle of morphling, which he gives to Casca High Bottom, knowing the man couldn't resist taking it. It was a sneaky and clever crime and ultimately furthers the mystery of why Snow would ever need to take the poison himself to begin with. Regardless of an antidote, ingesting such dangerous substances would always be risky, so it's interesting to consider why Snow didn't avoid this as he did with High Bottom. Unfortunately, since the Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes left this out, we will never know.